go across to our panelists joining us here on the program. Advocate Pooja Suri, who's a spokesperson for the BJP. Ravi Srivastava, political analyst, also supports the Aam Aadmi Party. Shantanu Sen, former joint director of the CBI. Ravi Srivastava, from your perspective, since you follow the AAP also very closely as a political analyst, tell us, what do you make of this? Because now it seems that the BJP has obviously upped its ante with these arrests, saying here are these two people who were directly connected to the Aam Aadmi Party, and there was major profiteering going on through these liquor deals.
Afrida, first of all, I think Kejriwal has amply clarified that what was the connection of Vijay Nair with the Aam Aadmi Party. I was seeing, and let me just update that Samir Mahendru has been given the custody of ED till 6th of October. Now, issue here is that I saw the CBI's remand note. The remand note talks about some 12% commission out of 6% was to be given to some top officials in the government in Delhi. It talks about several raids conducted on Vijay Nair, but nothing was found over there. So far, they have only said some 1 crore rupees deposited in some UCO bank by some alleged person. There is no direct money trail till date shown that Manish Sisodia got any money or Vijay Nair got any money.
The process is still on.
Kejriwal got any
the
money.
Process of collecting evidence is still on, isn't it? That's the whole idea of taking the custody for further questioning.
Just allow me for 30 seconds more.
Sure.
See, there is no harm. The inquiry is most welcome. The probe is most welcome. Let it go on. But the issue here is the timing. The timing which is the coinciding with the Gujarat, Himachal, MCD elections in Delhi. Now, I am telling you, the moment date for the Gujarat election is announced, this whole thing will go into the cold storage. Because the objective and the purpose is to malign the Aam Aadmi Party and the crushed Aam Aadmi Party.
So, do you not have any faith on the investigating agency? You were, by way of saying that, you're also saying that the ED and CBI are not, working as per due diligence. They are working at the behest of the ruling party at the center. Is that what you're also suggesting? Because these are arrests made by the agencies. Yes.
ED is got hardly any conviction rate. It is less than even 0.5%. But as far as CBI is concerned, they do have a good conviction rate and they do a good job as well. But I think here they are working under pressure from the ruling central government. And you must have heard about one suicide also of one officer who was working for CBI. The government is pressurizing. Vijay Nair was repeatedly told, you name Manish Sisodia or otherwise we will arrest you. And he has been arrested.
Shantanu Sen, when you hear this, how do you feel? As a former joint director of CBI, it seems, and as a citizen, we are frustrated to see this happen each and every time. The moment there is a crackdown on corruption or any arrest for that matter, the political versions that come in almost makes the agencies redundant, that they're all working at the behest of the center and that they do not do these arrests based on evidence or based on any probe. It's simply for political reasons that the agencies are used. Do you agree with this version, sir?
The government has done enough to make people feel that CBI is acting on its behest. In the past, we did not have a single directive. Remember the famous single directive which prohibited CBI from investigating any people of the rank of Joint Secretary and above for any decision they took for any act which would be understood to be an act of corruption. So that was Rajiv Gandhi's time. Then later on that was quashed by Justice Verma in the Hawala case, and it was brought back by Mr. Bajpai, again in a different shape. It was brought under the CVC, I think. Earlier it was under the Delhi's Police Establishment Act, the prohibition. So that too was quashed. the courts felt that CBI should not be caged. CBI should be allowed to find its own corruption, and the government should have nothing to do about telling CBI where the corruption lies when a public servant takes any decision which the CBI think is corrupt. Now and later on, in 2018, 17A has been brought into the Prevention of Corruption Act, where CBI is completely prohibited from taking up investigation on its own against any government, public servant of any rank whatsoever who takes a decision which the CBI or somebody else may consider as corrupt. That power has been taken over by the government, by the competent authority in government. In the liquor policy case, you have noticed it was not the CBI who took up the case on its own. It was directed to take up. That is the law of the land today. So when the government takes on the responsibility of finding out what is corrupt and what is wrong and directs the CBI to investigate, people have a right to feel that this case is being directed by the government. It may be true, may not be true. But let us be very clear. CBI today is under compulsion to take up any investigation which the government or any competent authority directs it to take up. That is the law under Section 17A of the Prevention of Corruption Act. There have been various other, other additions have been made also. So then the CBI will investigate. And that is where, therefore, the people at large feel that the government is directing the investigation. I believe the CBI studies the case carefully, diligently, and prima facie, if CBI concludes there is corruption, CBI takes up the investigation. CBI should not be taking up any investigation where there is no prima facie corruption of.
But here you are saying the CBI would not have that choice to take that decision. The prerogative is not for the CBI to decide whether it takes up the investigation or not. No, the rest of it may be under its domain, but not the decision of whether to investigate or not. You're saying that the central government decides and it is bound by that order, sir? Is that what you're saying?
That is the law of the land. I'm not saying it. It is the law of the land.
No, I understand. I just wanted, for the sake of clarity.
In 2018, 17A was brought into the...
So, Pooja Suri, the reason why I... Yes.
Right.
No, please finish your point, sir. Please finish your point, Mr. Sen.
I was saying that CBI has no choice in the sense that CBI must at least agree that there is a prima facie case. CBI can always say to the government, it is not a prima facie case, there is no act of corruption. But find the distinction. CBI on its own does not anymore look into a case of corruption.
Okay. But you also say that gives enough reason, which is why, Mr. Sen, you said that could give enough reason for people to say that, yes, the CBI is acting at the behest of the central government. Part of it is because of the law of, because the way the law stands. Part of it, political adversaries of the ruling party would say it is deliberate, it is witch hunt. Advocate Pooja Suri, how would you respond to that? We have a former joint director here saying, yes, it is true that as per the law, the CBI is not authorized to take a decision on its own when it comes to starting an investigation based on prima facie evidence. It is the central government that authorizes the CBI, and the CBI is bound to follow that. So in that respect, do you agree that this whole argument about how central agencies are being used against political adversaries may have some merit to it?
Well, let me start by saying a very simple sentence. You must have heard, chor machaye shor. So this is absolutely pertinent to the situation of Delhi government's excise policy. I am just going to keep my few points here regarding the excise policy. When the Delhi government had come up with the new excise policy after modifying it to their benefits, and the moment they got to know about the CBI inquiry, they just rolled it back. If they were so particular and if they were so Kattar Imandar? What was the need to roll it back? My first question. Second is, I'm going to pinpoint few things where I would like to tell my audiences through your channel that the Delhi government had made few irregularities while modifying the excise policy, and which included they extended the favors to their favorites. They extended all the licenses to their own people without looking at the legal issues. In fact, they waived off, they reduced the license fee, and in return, they were getting all the illegal benefits through people like Vijay Nair. And today, when CBI is doing its work, so they are making hue and cry. I cannot understand if they are so.
But Pooja Suri, you know what Mr. Kejriwal is saying, and I'm quoting it here for you. He says, "Who is Vijay Nair? Aapka chota sa karyakarta hai. He handles communication for us. Earlier, he did great work in Punjab and we formed the government there. Now he is handling communication strategy in Gujarat. He was handling social media outreach in Gujarat. They are saying he was involved in liquor scam in Delhi. I don't understand how he is linked to liquor or a liquor scam. He looks at social media in Gujarat. He's just a party worker."
Madam, all their people and all their middlemen are chote se log only. And Mr. Kejriwal is a fine actor, as we all know. And
no, by way of this, he's saying that the BJP is rattled, going by AAP's campaign in Gujarat, and therefore trying to catch hold of those people who are actively working on the ground in Gujarat. That is the argument Mr. Kejriwal is making.
Absolutely not. Rather, it is the other way around. He's too rattled because as the CBI and ED are doing their work and unraveling this Sharab Ghotala, where they use the words like Kattar Imandar and awards like Padma Shri to the Shiksha Mantri, who's also Sharab Mantri. And, you know, I being a Delhi girl, I feel it is so unfortunate to see people having this kind of government where people's taxpayers' money is used, and you know, it's totally unacceptable situation for the people of Delhi. It's like we cannot. I mean, as a citizen also, it is so sad to see this kind of situation where you know, all the scams. It is liquor
Afrida,
scams
can I
today.
respond, please?
It is
Yes.
one moment.
Let Pooja Suri finish. I'm coming to you.
Let me complete my point. He says that there are two sting operations, madam, in the public domain also, where their own person is accusing Vijay Nair's name that he has been giving 100 crores to him. So all these things, why are they in a hurry? I cannot understand. Let CBI and ED do their work. Why there is a fear?
Yes, so there is no connection to the fact that here was an individual who was working on the Gujarat campaign. You're saying this is purely CBI gathering evidence, and it has now, tightened the noose around these individuals who seems to be involved. Yes, respond, Mr. Ravi Srivastava.
First of all, Afrida, that lady was mentioning about that being a Delhi girl and having problem with that liquor policy and all. Let me tell her that in Karnataka, there is a BJP government and they follow the similar policy which was designed by the Aam Aadmi Party, which was installed because the LG objected to it and LG told CBI to file a case. That was the reason it was put on hold. It is one of the most wonderful policy, and I see the swanky shops in Bangalore selling liquor where women can go safely, consume it, buy it, and take it. Beautiful shops, and no issue at all. And everybody knows that Delhi Thekas.
No, but if AAP was so proud of its own policy, it should have stuck to it. Why did the Aam Aadmi Party succumb? Why did it revert to the old policy?
Policy is wonderful, and they will always stick to it.
Wow,
At this CBI inquiry gets over, they will implement it. It has been.
No, I'm asking, why did the Aam Aadmi Party then revert? If it was so sure of the way the liquor policy was going, if there was nothing wrong in it, why did it revert? That is the question I was asking.
Madam, I would like to respond to him, please.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Suri.
Yeah, my first thing is, Ravi Srivastava ji, let me tell you, I'm not a random Delhi girl. I am Delhi BJP spokesperson, advocate Pooja Suri. And secondly, when I say something, I say it everything with full responsibility. In fact, it was only after Delhi BJP's complaint that all these the excise policy had the excise department had issued the look for notices, and to the misfortune of Delhi again, there was no action taken. Anyway, coming to your wonderful excise policy, where you were giving 1+1 offer, the people of other states also used to call up people staying in Delhi and ask them to buy crates and crates of liquor for them, because your
Into the merits of the liquor policy now, we are interested to know about these arrests and whether they were done purely as part of the probe based on incriminating evidence, or whether there is a political motive behind it. Quick last...
Exactly.
I have to close the show. Okay, please quickly respond, Mr. Srivastava.
Yeah, I'll respond. See, first of all, Manish Sisodia was raided by the CBI. They searched his house, they searched his locker, they did not find anything. The note made by the CBI wrote down, some Dinesh Arora gave Amrit Arora 1 crore rupees. And that also sources told them. They do not have any solid, incontrovertible evidence to produce in the court. Everything was alleged. And everything was in the aid. He is an aide of Manish Sisodia. He is an aide of Kejriwal. How many aides they have got?
Right. So on one hand, the argument is political witch hunt. On the other hand, the argument is there was rampant corruption and deals done to favor certain individuals. Shantanu Sen, quick last word to you, because there can be no end to this. The tragedy of the situation is the next time a scam happens, we don't know whom to believe. We even don't know whether we can trust our own investigating agencies, sir.
Yes, the people are, if you have taken away the powers from the CBI to find out corruption and launch investigation, then it is a mistake. And the Supreme Court has to look into this. Somebody has to go.
Okay.
Can you really do this? Therefore, questions will arise. You have caged the CBI. You have not allowed it to investigate on its own. And once the CBI starts investigation on an FIR, which is prima facie given to it, CBI and the courts will start with the presumption that everything written in the FIR and everything that they say is in favor of the investigation. That is the law of this land. The investigation will get all the help, arrest, custody, questioning, all the help it needs,
right,
till it finds a final report.
Right.
So
for
therefore,
that we
any
need
conclusion on the basis of arrests, on the basis of statement, we have to wait. There can be no conclusion at this stage whether they are corrupt or not at this stage.
Absolutely.
At this stage, it is the stage of investigation.
The process is on.
And
but
remember,
what you said is very important,
our law
sir.
is very fair.
Yes.
You are not guilty.
Till you're, yes,
you are not guilty
innocent
till
till
you are
proven
proved
guilty.
beyond doubt.
Absolutely.
So nobody should say anybody is guilty now. Let the CBI investigate. CBI will get all the help from the court. It will get custody. It will interrogate them. It will get abundant time to lay a charge sheet. And after the charge sheet is filed, only then the trial will begin. Once the trial begins, then both sides will be heard. And what is the final conclusion will decide who is guilty or not.
Right, but
that
I find it very important, Mr. Shantanu Sen, that you as a former joint director has said in this program that the agencies need to be independent first. A caged CBI does not help. There will be doubts raised on the fairness of these kind of investigations. Thanks very much for joining us, Advocate Pooja Suri, Ravi Srivastava and Shantanu Sen, for joining us here on the program.